Okay, dear diary, this is part 2. Let's try and be a little more focused, even though I might be a little more stoned now. And I did have a little bit of brandy someone gave me for Christmas. A little swag bag. My dear friends. My other videos talk about what led up to the arrest. I had told everybody these scumbags are not going to arrest till they silence me with... these guys are not going to arrest until they silence me with an arrest. Everyone thought, there he goes again, Christopher exaggerating. Remember when he told us Bloomberg would ruin the city? He exaggerates a lot, that Christopher. He said Bloomberg was running for mayor to double his $5 billion. Bloomberg actually septupled it. That's CXB, always exaggerating. He exaggerates so much. Remember when he said Police Commissioner Kerrick was a complete criminal, even when he was the DOC, and everyone laughed at him. Even Kerrick, once he was charged, said, I will fight these charges to the death. I am innocent. They said, listen, we'll give you 5 years if you just plead guilty. And he says, only 5 years? I'll take it. That's what an innocent person would do. Just like the Republican in Staten Island right now, Grimm. They just voted him in, the people of Staten Island. And he says, I'm innocent. I'm going to fight these charges. Re-elect me. And they all said, why don't we believe him? He's a politician and a Republican. Well, he don't lie. And a few weeks later, he is pleading guilty, facing years in jail. He's pleading guilty to a felony. So you know he must have been super innocent. What he was doing was he didn't report like $900,000 in receipts or whatever from his business, or I'm not sure if that's how much in taxes he ripped off, but something like that. He was stealing taxpayer money, essentially. But I've digressed, haven't I? Sorry. What the fuck were you talking about? Oh, again, a lot of people read the New York Times and Daily News pieces about me. The Daily News piece was all bullshit. Almost everything in it was false. The New York Times piece, not so much. Fun fact, the New York Times told me they were going to do a cover story on me. And the writer who was doing it was actually, in the past, had been favorable to me and written good pieces about me in other papers. Corey Kilgannon. But he said since the Daily News was running something, that the New York Times didn't want to be scooped, so they just ran whatever he had. And that's why if you read the piece, it ends on a weird note. Doesn't make any sense where it ends at all. And the piece is so misleading. The Daily News piece is a pure hit job and probably one of the most slanderous articles or libelous articles ever written in American history. It's probably the strongest case of libel you're ever going to find, because it's almost impossible to prove libel in America. Our laws are so weak. That's why celebrities go to England and sue in those courts. What was I saying? So, let's make it clear. I was arrested for 3 crimes, says Brooklyn DA Charles Hines. Oh, wait, what happened to Hines? Oh, that's right, I told everyone he was a crook and he was protecting pedophiles, and everyone laughed at me. Chris was exaggerating again. 3 years later, the New York Times and everyone else started writing about how he had been protecting pedophiles, and framing innocent men, and hiding evidence, etc., etc., etc. He was fired. And he may be going to prison because it turns out, well, what do you know? He was a scumbag in every other category. Why wouldn't he be a scumbag in every other category? He was using money he stole from, he took from drug dealers and stuff for his campaign expenditures. Hilariously illegal. But, of course, he's law enforcement, the top dog, so how is the district attorney going to know he's breaking the law? He probably just didn't know the law. Ignorance is no excuse, they say. 6 minutes here, let's see. So, Brooklyn DA Charles Hines, now fired, now disgraced, now laughing stock, one of the most embarrassing DAs in American history, and it all blew up in his face. I warned him, and he laughed at me. I've been in power for 24 years. Ain't no way you're bringing me down. Ain't no way no one's bringing me down. Well, he got brought down. Oh, did he get brought down? He lost 2 elections in humiliating defeats, and now even all of his friends won't return his calls. Everybody in law enforcement jumped on him. Ha ha, feds are after him, everybody's after him, he's a scumbag. You'll find that happens to my enemies a lot. A lot of my enemies laugh at me, and I say, oh, there's a little story called The Tortoise and the Hare you might want to read. And they always get caught doing evil, evil shit and go down in flames. Giuliani is still a fucking punchline. Clown. But I've digressed. Once more. I should be a supervillain called the Digressor. The charges. I was arrested. Oh, it's such a complicated thing. They deliberately make it complicated so people will tune out. Like when you watch politics and they make it boring. So by procedurally, so people will not pay attention to what they're doing. That's not coincidence. It's deliberate. Burp. It's the same thing with legalese. They write things in legalese so you have to hire a lawyer. It's all a job protection racket. Everything in this world is a lie. You will realize that as you grow older. My job is to expose those lies. You can imagine the people I'm exposing, who are all massively powerful, have one choice. Destroy CXB by any means necessary. And they tried for decades and failed because I'm relentless and I have a death wish. I don't care. You can torture me, you can kill me, I don't give a fuck, but I'm not going to kiss your ass, Giuliani. I'm not going to kiss your ass, Bloomberg. But then they were saved by Jessica Delfino and the Trachtenbergs, who then changed the story from government going after Christopher to helpless gals who have nothing to do with government going after Christopher. Just like two girls, fortunately for the government, came out in Sweden or wherever to say Julian Assange sexually assaulted us. Perfect way to discredit the man. So perfect. I start to see a pattern here somewhere. Anyhow, the Trachtenbergs did what no one else was able to do. They completely destroyed my art and music, my reputation. They really are some of the greatest villains in human history books you will find. Such deceit, such backstabbery. I mean, unfathomable corruption. Example, Rachel Trachtenberg, my former best friend, who I practically raised, who turned on me because I stuck up for her when her parents stole $6,000 of her money. She came to me very sad that they stole her money, and I tried to help, and she put me in jail for it. That's betrayal that you can rarely find in even the weirdest historical stories about betrayals. And it's far worse than that. It's unbelievable. But it's tens of thousands of facts, each one a jaw-dropper. Example, my best friend getting up at the sentencing going, I'm in fear for my safety. Trying to portray me as some old creepy guy stalker who might kill her. Now, everyone knows I'm a pacifist. Everyone knows the club has a rule about no beating me up. Just stupid, insane lies. Do you know what it's like to watch your best friend get up and just make up the dumbest lies? Example, she said, she testified, her testimony was fantastic. So I'm telling this story poorly, but my brain is fried. You must realize that. In Rikers, sleep deprivation is systemic. The U.S. State Department, the United Nations, everyone agrees. That's torture. It's torture. Sleep deprivation is torture. It's torture. We all call it torture. It's settled long ago. It's torture. Rikers does it systemically, and the news media doesn't think it's worth reporting. I've been exposing this to them for 15 years, and all my fellow reporters went, la 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 la, we can't hear you. We don't know what's going on in Rikers. Bloomberg leaves in January of this year, and suddenly all these stories about Rikers start coming out. The feds are investigating everything. Wow, it's like, wow, it only took you 20 years of Republican rule until the Republicans leave, and then you go in. Cowards, fucking cowards. Shit, 2 minutes left. I don't want to do more parts, but this is obviously not going to be a very comprehensive story. I can't give you a diary entry about the trial. It would take 6,000 hours. It's unbelievable. The number of laws they broke is, and I'm very comprehensive. I don't miss anything, so I could give you factoids for fucking the next 65 hours easily. Don't have time for that. 1 minute 36 seconds. Oh, but so keep that in mind when you hear these current diaries. They should be totally scattershot. Try going with 2 hours of sleep for 100 days straight. Try it. Your body will break down physically, and your mind will break down. My short-term memory is obliterated. You might say, well, maybe you should smoke some pot. Nope. When I didn't smoke pot at all, even in Rikers, I didn't smoke pot for fucking 16 months. Except a couple occasions. And my short-term memory was gone. Because, I don't know why, but the sleep deprivation really fucked my short-term memory up. It fucked a lot of my long-term memory up. But based on past experiences being tortured in Rikers for, a month here versus 3 months here versus 6 months here, it should take about 2 years before my body and my brain heal from 16 months of torture. Remember, not just sleep deprivation, nutrition, almost no nutrition for 16 months. You don't think that affects the human body? Holy fuck. And I was calling up the New York Times every day from jail. All kinds of reporters. I was calling up all kinds of reporters, all kinds of different papers. And everyone united to protect Mike Bloomberg and Rikers Island. And now these same scumbags are like, we are coming to the rescue. The attorney generals, the U.S. attorneys, all of them were notified in the 90s, the aughts, etc. And all of them covered it up for Giuliani because he was one of their own, and Bloomberg because he was filthy rich and made donations to everybody in law enforcement. 6 seconds left. End of part 2.